And we are live. What's good, y'all? It's your man, D.R. Saint. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I really want to know podcast. Happy Monday. Yeah, it's Monday. Ugh. I hope all is well with you guys. I really do. All is well on this end. And we're just, doing the thing, trying to make it happen. Having some, having, just doing what we do. Just doing what we do. All right. Did a quick sound check. Everything seems to be going good. Hey, happy Monday. I hope all is well. Yeah. When y'all get old, man, the older you get, the harder it is to multitask. So as I get older, I'm happy because I could blame a whole lot of stuff on being old, man. That's how I get down, man. Even though age has nothing to do with it, I like to blame age. Oh boy, yeah, we're gonna sit here. We're gonna talk about some currency today, y'all. We're gonna talk about some currency. Brother Doug's in the house. What's good, fam? How you feeling, bro? Good to see you. Good to see you. You almost made this a downrange podcast episode, but I'm not going to talk about the political stuff as much with this currency. I just want to talk about what is central bank digital currency. Brother Vikings in the house as well. What's good, fam? How you feeling? Good to see both of y'all. Man, I hope all is well. Yeah, we got to talk about this, y'all. This could be a thing. This could be a thing. There's those folks out there who like it. There's a lot of folks out there who don't. The people who believe in free markets don't seem to like this. The people that believe in big government and the people who don't necessarily have a lot of money seem to be behind this. So we're going to get into it. We're going to see what it is. Brother Casual Germs in the house, man. Que paso? What's good? How you feeling, bro? Hola, como está? That's how I was learned. That's how I was taught in high school. Hola, como está, man. What's good, man? How you feeling? Brother Doug, CBDCs wasn't supposed to go into effect until July. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. So I thought it'd be cool to jump on here and just talk about it, man. We'll just chop it up. I've seen some things out there. We got it all loaded up, and we're just gonna chop it up, man. See what it means. All right, at this point, right now, today, April 17th, 2023, 6:03 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I don't like I don't like what they're trying to do with the central bank digital currency. I don't like what I'm reading today. Now that could change, but right now, I'm not with it. I'm not with it. But I'm going to go out here and do my best to educate myself and talk to some folks on both sides and see what it is. But it looks like this is the wave of the future. America's not going to be the only country. I know China's been all over it. There's a handful of countries that I think they already have it and are using it in real time. So we're going to see. We are going to see. So yeah, we got some stuff. We're going to load up, man, to get into it. Brother Casual Germ doing good. I met some fine Latinos over the weekend, but my lack of Spanish limited my interaction with them, bro. Hey, man, listen. You got one of these in your pocket, bro. This thing is fluent in every language on the planet. You can even find an app on here that can help you translate into Klingon, which isn't even a real species. So, bro, don't let that stop you. Don't let that stop you. And I ain't gonna lie to you, man. A lot of times when you bump into women, especially here in America, they do speak Spanish. Correction, they do speak English. And they kind of use the, lo siento, no habla inglés as a brush off. You know what I mean? As a brush off. So, like I said, my go-to, say habla inglés, they say no. I'm like, poquito. You know what I mean? Like, no, poquito. And they're like, oh, yes, a little. Done. We're in there. And they pull out the phone and help you. Google Translate's pretty cool. You can type in what you want to say and show it to. I mean, bro, I started traveling before smartphones, and I used to keep a little book in my pocket that was basic Spanish translation, so I could go through there and look at what I wanted to say and look it up, or I could, I would write down notes. I would have basic notes of what I wanted to say, so I could show them the notes. So when you got a phone, bro, when you got a smartphone, man, you got a computer in your pocket, bro. I mean, just think about it. We went to the moon and back with a computer that was way slower than your phone. Think about that. They went to the moon and back multiple times with the computer that probably couldn't even run this podcast. Like, think about that, bro. The technology has changed so much, bro. So don't give up on that, bro. Stick, stick with it, man. Especially if she's into you. If she's into you just a little bit, she'll try. She'll try to communicate, man. Just pull out your phone. She'll pull out hers. You pull out yours. You can talk into your phone, and then you speak into your phone in English or whatever, and then it'll speak in whatever language you want it to translate to. I used to do that all the time in Aruba, Medellin. I've done that in where was I? I've done that in Korea, like I've done that in South Korea, and I've done that in Japan. So I speak very little, very, very, very little Korean. So I would use my phone. I speak no Japanese, none. And I speak a fair bit of Spanish. So, but not enough. I'm not fluent in any of those languages, bro. I'm telling you, use that technology to your advantage. Don't give up. Brother Doug, is the title figurative or literal? They're about to roll out the the central bank digital currency is here in America, man. They're ready to roll it out. I think the official rollout is, like you said, in July or something like that. But they're ready to roll it out. It's here. It's gonna get rolled out this year. Will they roll it out a little bit sooner because of the current financial crisis? I don't know, maybe, but it's here, bro. Casual Germ, I know, man. I forgot about the Google Translate app. He's laughing about it. Never forget about that app, bro. Brother Mandrell's in the house. What's good? What's good, man? Good to see you. And then Brother Casual Germ, in my defense, I was working in the outdoors. That's my excuse. There are no excuses, my friend. None. No excuses. Next time, pull that phone out, bro. Pull that phone out. Learn a couple quick phrases. Pull it out. Ask them. Learn how to say in Spanish, do you speak English? Say habla inglés. Say habla inglés. Ask her that. Know that much. And if she says no, and you're like, no, poquito no. You know what I mean? I'm sorry. Porque no. Why? Porque no. Poquito. You know what I mean? And then they'll say, yes, I speak a little. And again, my Spanish is broken, bro. It's bad. But I speak enough to get myself in trouble. Brother Good. I was just checking if it has started right now. I don't think it started right now. Like I said, they're ready to roll it out. It's here. You know what I mean? Brother Casual Germany's like, Roger that. Sorry, that's right, man. Make that happen there, boy. Don't play around with it. Because shoot, that could be your future ex-wife, homie. Don't play around with it. So, man, let's get into it. Let's see. We'll go here. Drop this down. We shall go here. So, all right, I found Investopedia. I've never really read this before, but there's an article here we can go over, and it talks about what is a central bank digital currency, a CBDC. I ain't gonna lie to you. When I first heard it, I thought it was something you smoke. Like, is that an edible? Like, what is that? But yeah, I had to actually do some research and find out what it is. So central bank digital currency, man. Digital tokens similar to cryptocurrency issued by a central bank. What is a central bank digital currency? Central bank digital currencies are a form of digital currency that is issued by a country's central bank. They are similar. They are similar to cryptocurrencies, except their value is fixed by the central bank and equivalent to the country's fiat currency. So people, if you don't know what fiat currency is, fiat currency are dollars. Basically, what it is. Fiat currency is basically fake money. Fiat currency is fake money, y'all. So, yeah, our dollar, our money in America is not backed by anything. It used to be backed by gold. Even our coins were made of precious metals. Like if you have a quarter, right, a 25, like if you had a quarter from before a certain year, that was actually made out of silver. So if you had a quarter from, I don't know, I think it's 1930s or 40s. If you had a quarter that old, it's actually worth way more than 25 cents, right? Because it was real steel. I'm correcting, real silver, if I'm not mistaken. So now I think it was President Nixon who removed America from the gold currency. So basically, whenever we printed money, we had to have that money had to be backed by gold. We had to have the gold available to print the money. So you could take your dollar and you would be able to exchange your dollar for $1 worth of gold. Um that's how the dollar was so strong, and that's how that came about. But during the Vietnam War, I guess American didn't have enough gold to continue to pay for the war in Vietnam, so Nixon removed the dollar from the gold standard. And I'm sure there was some other reasons. I'm no expert on all this, man. Go talk to somebody who went to school to study this sort of thing. But I do know that Nixon removed the US dollar from the gold standard. And ever since then, the US dollar is just paper. It's not backed by anything. It's not backed by anything. That's why they call it fiat currency, man. It's fake currency. It's not backed by anything. So one day, our central planners, the central banks, and our politicians are going to ruin the economy. And when that happens, the dollars we have in our pocket are worthless. Inflation will occur. It makes the dollar worthless. It's like, look at what's going on in Venezuela. Is this happen? This has happened all over the world, and all these different countries that have used fiat currency. You would see it happened in Germany at one point. People would use Deutschmarks to wallpaper their house because the stuff was just worthless. I think it kind of happened in India when they changed the currency up or something they did over there. It was kind of crazy. People had if you didn't have the correct fiat currency, then the monies you were holding was worthless. The stuff that they do with fiat currency is crazy, right? So that's what fiat currency is. So let's get back to it. Many countries are developing CBDCs, and some have even implemented them because so many countries are researching ways to transition to digital currencies. It's important to understand what they are and what they mean for society. And that's why I decided to pick this article up. We're going to read this whole thing. We're going to read this whole thing. This is where we are, guys. This is the future. This is the future. I see Brother Doug. I see everybody showing love in the chat, man. And like I said, it's always good to see you guys. Brother Doug, I've been asking employees at my local bank about CBDCs, and they never even heard of it until I asked. I find that very odd. Yeah, I find that scary. Here's the thing, man. Like most Americans, man, they have their head buried in the dirt. And what I mean by that is they're so wrapped up in their own world, bro. They don't have the opportunity to sit back and see what's going on in technology or what's going on in the rest of the world or what's going on in real estate. They just can't. They're just so busy, bro. Or they're so wrapped up in their own bubble. Maybe they don't care. So that is scary. You go into the bank. I ain't gonna take that back. It's not that scary that you go into the bank and the average bank employee doesn't know. You talk to the management and own up the ladder. I bet you they know. You talk to the real bankers, they know all about it. Maybe they know and they just want to act like they don't know. Like, oh, I don't know. What is that? Maybe, you know what I mean? It could be one of those sinister kind of plots, right? Putting on my tinfoil hat here. But yeah, maybe it's something along those lines. But most of the people I talk to, just when I'm out and about in the streets, no clue. No clue. Like I said, when I first heard it, man, I thought it was an edible. So you got to get out there and have an opportunity to research that stuff. How are bank managers unaware of CBDCs? Yeah, that if it's a bank manager and doesn't know, yeah, that's scary. I believe banks will close for business soon and only be left with their loan departments. And that's Brother Doug right there, man. We put those up. Possibly, bro. Possibly, man. You know what I mean? You would think banks would be up to date on central bank digital currencies, a place that uses currency. Yeah, you would think that, bro. You would think that. So yeah, and then they have bullet points here. Let's see. Key takeaways: central bank digital currency is a digital form of the country's fiat currency. CBDC is issued and regulated by the nation's monetary authority or the central bank. That's what I don't like. I mean, yeah, this currency is the same as the fake money we got in our pocket, only it can be tracked. And that's what I don't like about it. CBDCs promote financial inclusion and simplify the implementation of monetary and fiscal policy. As a centralized form of currency, they may not anonymize transactions as some cryptocurrencies do. It's funny. I read this earlier, bro. Sometimes I just hit these words and be like, what the hell? So Yeah, that's one of the things when when you're going to be using crypto, this central bank digital currency, whatever you do is there's no more anonymous transactions, bro. But when you use cryptocurrency like Bitcoin, Ethereum, whatever, yes, that's anonymous. When you use your regular money, fiat money, you go out there and do what you want to do. That's pretty much anonymous. Um, and it goes on to say many countries are exploring how CBDCs will affect their economies, existing financial networks, and stability. So, like, my big thing is the fact that you can't go out there and do what you want to do with your money without being tracked. That's one of my biggest problems with this. I'm gonna leave that. I'm gonna leave that up front. We'll get into it a little bit more, but that's my biggest problem with it. Um, among other things that we'll get into in a second. Understanding central bank digital currencies. Fiat money is government issued currency that is not backed by a physical commodity like gold or silver. It is considered a form of legal tender that can be used to exchange goods and services. Traditionally, fiat money came from the form of banknotes and coins, but technology has allowed governments and financial institutions to uh, supplement physical fiat money with credit-based model, which is balance and transactions are recorded digitally, right? So what they want to do is get rid of the banknotes and give you like I said, something that can be tracked. It's backed by the government and financial institutions, right? And it's gonna basically replace fiat currency with a credit-based model in which balances and transactions are recorded digitally. That's man, I'm telling you, that's the part I don't like. That's the part I don't like. I don't like that part. And people are like, "Oh man, you don't like it because what are you scared of? You out there doing dirt? Maybe it's America, right? You free to go out here and do what you want to do with your money, how you want to do it. Maybe I want to go outside and just give it away. You know, um, I don't know if you'll be able to do that. I don't know. You can't just give it away to someone who doesn't have the technology to receive it. So whatever you're doing with your bread is going to be tracked. Everything is going to be tracked. That's the scary proposition. Brother Jason's in the house. What's good, fam? Everything is going to be tracked. So, yeah, it's crazy. Physical currency is still widely exchanged and accepted. However, some developed countries have experienced a significant decrease in its use, and that trend accelerated during the COVID-19 pandemic. The introduction and evolution of cryptocurrency and blockchain technology have created further interest in cashless societies and digital currencies. Thus, governments and central banks worldwide are exploring the possibility of using government-backed digital currencies, right? When and if they are implemented, these currencies would have full faith and backing of the government that issues them, just like fiat money. So, again, man, I don't know. I don't. The beauty of cryptocurrency is what it was decentralized. Now, the downside to that is, it's still new, so it's extremely volatile right now. And everybody keeps pointing to that. It's so volatile right now. You know what I mean? I don't even know where Bitcoin is today. I don't know where Ethereum is today. Last time I checked, Bitcoin was in the 30s. I don't know where it is. It was as high as it was in the 60s, I think, at one point, and then it dropped down to 16, like 16,000. I don't know where it is right now. We could look it up later, or someone in the chat could tell me where Bitcoin is right now, where Ethereum is right now. They're like, it's wild roller coaster, right? Okay, but if there were no other forms of currency, I don't think it would be fluctuating like that. People would be using Bitcoin or Ethereum, just using cryptocurrencies, and the way that they do crypto, it protects your privacy. You feel me? Where the central bank digital currencies, they're not trying to protect your privacy. At least it doesn't seem that way to me. They're not trying to protect your privacy. Let's see. Goals of central banks and digital currencies. The U.S. and many other countries, many people do not have access to financial services. In the U.S. alone, 5% of adults do not have a bank account. That might be by choice, but 5% of adults do not have a bank account. In addition, An additional 13% of U.S. adults have bank accounts, but use expensive alternative services like money orders, payday loans, and check cashing services. All right, this is true. All facts, what they just said right there. It's all facts. But when people run out of money, they're going to go get other money and they're going to use these services, payday loans. When folks need to get money, they're going to transfer that money and there's going to be fees. I'm pretty sure if there's a central bank digital currency, there's still going to be transfer fees. It may not be as steep, but I think there's still going to be transfer fees. So again, I don't know, man. I don't know about this, y'all. Um, the main goal of CBDCs is to provide businesses and customers with privacy, transferability, convenience, accessibility, and financial security. CBDCs could also decrease the maintenance and complex financial system. It can decrease the maintenance a complex financial system requires, reduce cross-border transaction costs, and provide those who currently use alternative money transfer methods with lower cost options. Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah, they're saying this is going to be great for those people who is, sending money via Western Union or whatever. They're still going to have to pay money to transfer funds, and the government is going to know exactly where you sent that money. So if you're sending money to your auntie in Guatemala or Honduras or Nicaragua or wherever, they're going to know that. Know exactly how much you sent, where, who received it. And people say, well, they know that with Western Union. Okay. But as soon as that money hits, it's in cash form and it's gone. You can't continue to track it. When you send this digital form of money to whoever you're sending it to, when that money gets spent, they're still going to be tracking it. I don't know if I like that. But I mean, call me old school. You know what I mean? Call me old school. I don't know if I like that. So yeah. The main goal of CBDCs is to provide businesses and consumers with privacy. Okay, we read that. The privacy part, man, I don't know about. I don't know about that. I don't know how private your transactions are going to be. Central bank digital currencies would also reduce the risk of using digital currencies in their current form. Cryptocurrencies are highly volatile, with their value consistently fluctuating. We know this. Again, it's still new, and it's not being used enough to be stable at this time. It's kind of like a commodity. The volatility could cause severe financial stress in many households and affect the overall stability of an economy. CBDCs, backed by the government and controlled by a central bank, will provide households, consumers, and businesses with a stable means of exchanging digital currency. I don't know, man. This sounds like a trap. I mean, the US dollar fluctuates all the time. I mean, there are times you can go to countries and the US dollar is really strong. You can go and then you can go back 6 months later and the dollar will be weaker. So your money won't go as far. So like the passport bros go down to Colombia and Brazil and these places. Why? Because their dollar is strong. Here in America, they're bottom 80 guys because they're making, $40,000, $50,000 a year. But if they go to the Philippines making $50,000 a year in US, man, they're up in the top 30% just right off rip. But if the American economy suffers a bit of a crash or a downturn, they may not be in the 30% anymore out there. The dollar will still be stronger than the Filipino currency, but it won't be as strong as it once was. And then you wait a few more years and it'll go back up again. So there's fluctuations within fiat currency. So it's not going to be any difference with the digital currency. It's still going to fluctuate. So I don't get that part. I don't get that part at all. And then it goes into types of CBDCs. There are two types of CBDCs, wholesale and retail. Wholesale CBDCs are primarily used by financial institutions. Retail CBDCs are used by consumers and businesses, much like physical form of currency, right? Like the fiat stuff. Wholesale central bank digital currencies, wholesale wholesale CBDCs are similar to holding reserves in the central bank. The central bank grants an institution an account to deposit funds or use to settle interbank transfers. Central banks can then use monetary policy tools such as reserve requirements or interest on reserve balances to influence lending and set interest rates. All right. And then you have retail CBDCs are government-backed digital currencies used by consumers and businesses. Retail uh, CBDCs eliminates intermediary risk, the risk that private digital currency users might become bankrupt or lose consumer assets, right? So they're like, or they're saying that if the central bank issues it, you don't have to worry about the coin losing its value and you lose all your money. There are two types of retail CBDCs. They differ in how individuals, users access and use their currency. Token-based retail CBDCs are accessible with private public keys. This method of validation allows users to execute transactions anonymously. But is it really anonymous? Account-based retail CBDCs require digital identification to access an account. So, like that part right there, bro, are they really anonymous? I don't know, man. Sounds like a hit, Nino. Sounds like a hit. Brother Doug. Okay. Um, I just read from the Federal Reserve's website that the central bank digital currencies will not replace paper cash and will just be a currency option. I don't know, bro. I think this is the beginning. I think the idea is to replace cash, bro. I think the idea is to go cashless. Personally, I believe it will eventually replace paper cash. Yep, see, we're on the same page there, bro. Brother Pitney's in the house. What's good, fam? A central bank digital currency would single-handedly eliminate any semblance of privacy we have in the developed world. The government will see everything. This sort of unchecked power must be stopped on principle alone. Facts, bro. I agree with that. I agree with that 100%. Yup, and we both agree with Brother Doug that eventually that is the digital stuff is going to take over. D Mac, what's good, fam? How you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. There is zero thing you can do to stop central bank digital currencies. I think you're right. I mean, we're headed that way. I mean, all of the nations, there's so many nations on board with this, man. We're headed that way. The question is, how long will we be able to hold out with the current system or cash system? And what could be done to ensure privacy? I think those are and the second question being the most prevalent one. How can we ensure privacy? And I don't know, man. I don't know the answer, man. Y'all let me know what y'all think. Brother Doug, right? We're at a point cash is almost irrelevant. Yeah, we're almost there. Brother D Mac, digital currency and digital utility tokens are two different things. We need both. We're just sitting here chopping it up and reading. I'm trying to get on board and figure out what this stuff is. Because I didn't know like the token based and account based methods. I wasn't with retail, central bank digital currencies and wholesale central bank digital currency. I didn't know about these two types, bro. Keeping it 100. I had no idea. And then the question becomes, well, I see why they didn't want to go to cryptocurrency because it was so volatile. But if America had gotten behind Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever coin, that coin would have become very stable. But they didn't do it. And the question is why? And I think they didn't do it because they don't control it. Right? I would say that this all boils down to a matter of control. Right? The central bank is going to control this currency backed by the government. So the government controls it and knows everything you're doing with your money. You know what I mean? So again, tinfoil hat back on. Like, what's going on with that? Brother Doug, yep, D Mac, it's coming regardless. Yeah, there's nothing we can do about it, bro. And D Mac is saying it was decided back in 2012. I didn't realize it's been in the works that long, but I'm not surprised. Yeah, bro, the future is here. Fellas, the future is here. So the issues with CBDCs addresses and create, like the Federal Reserve has published a report on what it believes are critical issues a central bank digital coin meets and issues that need to be addressed before one can be successfully designated and implemented, right? So issues addressed by the central bank digital coin or digital currencies, and they have a few bullet points here: free from credit and liquidity risk. Okay, cross-border payment improvements. All right, which that can be done anyway. I mean, you can, you You can do that. You could have a government-backed transfer system, cross-border transfer system, will have a really low rates, but they don't want to do that, do they? Because people would know where they're sending their money. So I don't know, but I'd take that one off the list. Supports the international role of the dollar. I mean, the dollar is fake money anyway, so okay, I guess. Financial inclusion. I don't know about that one. How is it financial inclusion? And how do you get money to people you want to get money to? Like people on the streets, if you want to get somebody $20, $100, or take their family out to eat, so they could take their family out to eat or buy their family some clothes. I mean, you got to actually go get the goods and services and give it to them. You can't just give them money. I don't know. I mean, I don't know how you would do that. I guess you would have to use your phone. I mean, bro, how would this work? You know, anybody out there listening, how does this work? So everything is going to be tied to your phone like they do in certain parts of Africa. There are a lot of countries in Africa that they've been using this kind of thing. And, you know, you touch your phone or whatever. Like, well, do you have to have it? Of course, you're going to have some sort of digital wallet. You're going to have to protect that. I mean, what kind of, what kind of security do you need to keep your digital money safe? You can have a physical safe and put your fiat money and all your valuables in there. But what kind of, I mean, I got so many questions, bro. I got so many questions, bro. I don't, oh man, I don't. And expands access to the general public. That part right there. If you got someone who's on the street, how can you help them? You can't throw them some change back. Initially they're going to keep fiat money out there still, but it's going to get harder and harder to use, fiat paper money and coins. So it's going to go to, so when it's all digital, how can you just help somebody if you want to help somebody? And then people in the food service industry, bro, that's it. Your tips are right. The government knows exactly how much money you got in tips. You know what I mean? So bartenders and whatnot, you can't slide somebody a 50. You can't slide nobody 100 no more. That really hurts the networking aspect of the world, bro. Like that hurts. It makes it hard to do what you need to do when you're networking, bro. Issues that need addressing: financial structure changes. Yeah, financial structure changes, absolutely. Financial system stability, monetary policy influence, privacy and protection. I don't know about this privacy and protection, bro. Privacy for who? And who are you protecting? I mean, I know the 1% is going to find a way around this, and governments are going to definitely, benefit from this. But what about the regular person? And cybersecurity, I think we're more open to cyber hacks now, and they can hack all your money, bro. I don't know about this, y'all. I don't know, brother Doug. I'm starting to believe Bitcoin was a psyop to prepare us for CBDCs, especially when we still don't know who created it. I think the government just saw the Bitcoin, and once they saw it and it was kind of successful, I think that's when they moved to try to create the CBDCs myself. That's what I think happened, bro. But it is what it is. Brother Pitney, a major roadblock CBDCs face is the blockchain scalability problem, right? There are limits to how many transactions can be processed per second. CBDCs needs a robust network with high transition speeds, which we know is not going to happen right away because it's the government. The government is not good at, innovating technology and spearheading, new innovative ways to do stuff. So it's going to take them a while to get up to speed. The U.S. is way behind the power curve. Brother D Mac with the $20 super chat, man. I appreciate that, bro. Definitely gets to Don DeMarco for that, man. I really do appreciate it, man. Every dime is going into the stripper and cocaine fund, bro. I appreciate you. No, I'm just playing. Every dime goes right back into the platform, bro. So we can upgrade, get new cameras. I need to get those Rode lapel mics. They got mics out there that are wireless. I need to get a couple of those because I'm going to be this summer. I'm going to be in the streets, just kind of walking up on people and doing like interactions like that. And also I'm going to be wiring myself up for sound and bringing my camera in, which is my phone, and kind of vlogging me getting back into stand-up hardcore and, doing the open mics and going out there making inroads and getting booked on gigs and I want to show you guys what it's like to be a comedian, to be backstage and show you the business of funny. Ooh, that's what I'm gonna call it, the business of funny. That's what I'm gonna call my vlog. And hopefully we could turn that into like a mini documentary that we're gonna release on the platform, man. So thank you so much, brother. I really appreciate the $20. Um, invest in companies that are the driving force behind this technology. Embrace it. Facts. If you want to put your money into something, definitely put it into that. Um, there's going to be a lot of money invested into this technology to get up to speed. I agree with brother D-Mac on that 100%. Definitely do that. And then D-Mac, brother Doug wants to know which companies are involved. Yeah, that is a good question. Which companies are involved? And here's the thing with the government, they contract that work out. So yeah, man, we got to figure out who in Silicon Valley is out there making, making this kind of technology. And that's definitely who you want to, kind of put your money in. And you got to, I would spread them out amongst the top three. You figure one of the top three is going to get the government contract. And DMAC, not exactly some private companies developed this technology. They have been developing since 2015. So yeah, we just got to do our homework and find out who they are. And DMAC, if you happen to know of anybody who's like kind of, spearheading that game, man, yo, please drop that information in the chat, bro, so we can kind of look at it. You know what I mean? Yeah, he's like, thank you. It was all contracted out. Yeah, bro. I mean, that's again, people who are plugged into the government, bro, when they know this stuff is coming, billions and billions of dollars change hands, man. I'm telling you, millionaires and billionaires are made on this type of shift to a system. And trust me when I tell you, it's gonna be bad. It's gonna take them probably decades to get it to a point where, okay, they can do away with all of the money. And think about that. Once they shift to a completely 100% digital system, right? How are they going to get people going to have all this money that they keep at home sewn up in their mattresses or whatever in their shoe boxes? There's a whole lot of money out there. What happens to all that cash? What happens to all that cash? And I bet you they're thinking about that too. There's so much money in the streets these days, people. So much money. I don't think individuals realize how much money is in the streets. So if when we transition to a 100% digital platform where, cash and coins no longer work, there's dudes in the streets, man, sitting on tens of millions of dollars cash. Drug business, man, is a cash business. People who traffic in arms, it's a cash business. People who out here hitting these licks, cracking cards and all that kind of stuff, man, cash business. There you go right there. Maybe that's why there's the push, because they can sit back and see who's sitting on what. Now you got these people who are on the other side of the law trying to figure out, man, if you thought money laundering was hard before digital currency, it's I guess people will say it's going to be daggone impossible with digital currency. Yo, that's the question. What's going to happen? What's going to happen to that, bro? How they going to, that's one of the things I'm looking at, like, bro, how they going to do that? There's so much money. There's so much illegal money out there, y'all. So much. I've seen it when I was coming up. When I was coming up in the streets, bro, the kind of money that I saw in the streets, bro, it was scary. The kind of bread, like just the average guy was just bringing in a night was scary, bro. So when they get to the point where they're going to, do away with, and I'm sure it's going to be a step up approach. They're going to slowly, transition to the digital coin, but they're going to be watching who's trading in what, with money. I wonder how the people in the street going to do that. I wonder how. You know what I mean? This is something, and I meant to say it that time, y'all. I meant to say it that time. But this is one of those things that, requires a lot of thought. There's going to be a lot of money in transitioning over the ill-gotten gains of your businesses off the books, right? You got your business, whatever your business is, wherever you selling, let's say you're selling, widgets off the books, and you're sitting on hundreds of millions of dollars proceeds from selling these widgets, how you going to get that into, you know what I mean, a digital coin? Like, how you going to get that money into the system? Man, there's going to be billions of dollars made in getting people's dark money into the system. Billions of dollars made. This is going to be crazy. You know what I mean? Brother Doug, he's like, I'm on it. Yeah, Brother Doug loves to do the research, but he's going to find out who these companies are. And he's like, and thanks, D-Mac. I wasn't even thinking about investing. Great idea. Yeah, and just for the record, I'm pretty sure, D-Mac, this is not investment advice, guys. We're just here chopping it up. We just talking about what's coming. We're discussing the future. You know what I mean? So, you know, I don't want anybody coming over here is like, oh, D.L. Saint had an investment channel. No, I do not. No, I don't. This is I really want to know, which means I don't know, and I really want to know. Just so y'all know. And Brother D-Mac, thank you again, brother. I really appreciate that. You know what I mean? Brother Pitney, yeah, ATMs will be rendered useless. Pitney Jules was right. You won't need them. You won't need ATMs. You won't need them. And I'm wondering how much power would the government have? In other words, can they reach into your digital wallet and snatch it out? Will it be the law that your digital wallet must be always connected to the network? Whereas Bitcoin, you can get yourself a cold wallet. You just hold your Bitcoin and remove it from the system. So it's not plugged into any kind of system and your coin is good. It sits there. Will they allow that, or will they simply say, no, you have to keep your wallet connected to the system at all times? And if that's the case, wouldn't they, in theory, be able to stop you or take your money or whatever at any time that they want to, for any reason that they want to, whatever government you in? You know, people like to choose China. China's a bad place. Like, you know, the Chinese Communist Party will come in and take money and block you if you got a low social score, because they watch everything you do. If you jaywalk, if you shoplift, if you curse, if you don't dress a certain way, if you're late for work, they compile all that information into a score. And if you got a low social score, they don't let you get loans. They don't let you do certain things. Is America going to do something like that? Maybe not that extreme, but are they going to be in a situation where you got to keep your wallet plugged into the system? If you're doing something we don't like, we could take money. We're going to take that money. We don't know where that money came from. We know how much money you earn. So you had a side hustle somewhere and somebody paid you for your side hustle as a DJ or as a promoter or as a stand-up comedian or whatever, as a chef. That money went in and they're watching. All right, so-and-so paid you $20,000. Why? Oh, someone else over there paid you $30,000. Somebody over there paid you $1,600. They're just watching it. And all of a sudden they just shut down your account. Is that something they're going to be able to do? This is something we need to think about, people. This is something we need to think about. Brother Doug, the U.S. is behind. I see India, Bahamas, and a few other countries have already launched CBDCs. Yes, and I got a video here with our homeboy, Patrick Bet-David, put something out about this, man. We're saving the best for last. We're going to get to that in a minute. We got a couple other things. Let's see. Yes, a couple of things we're going to watch, and then we're going to get to Pat. You know what I mean? Shout out to Patrick Bet-David, man, Valuetainment. If you guys haven't gone over there on YouTube, please check out Valuetainment, the PBD podcast, Patrick Bet-David podcast. Check out Vinny Oshana's show over there. He does the comedy on Valuetainment. Saucecast with Adam Sosnick and the lovely Natalia's over there, and Jebediah doing her thing. Please go over there and check out Valuetainment, man. They're doing some good things, and they talk about this sort of stuff, and they bring on all of the big names on both sides, conservative and liberal. They bring them on and they talk and they have these debates. Telling you, treat yourself, y'all. Go over there and check out Patrick Bet-David, Valuetainment, man. They're bringing a lot of value, man. Shout out to them. And Brother Doug, like, that's what's up. D-Mac, you're really ahead of the game. Yes, you are, D-Mac. I'm glad you're here, brother. I really appreciate you. The U.S. Faster Payment Council, FPC, never heard of them, decided on a company that submitted the best technology on research. Wow. So, wow. Yeah, we got to look into that. Thanks, bro. We're going to definitely look into that. I'm definitely going to look into that. I want to start piecing this together because I really know nothing about this, man. You know what I mean? So on research on that, the U.S. Faster Payments Council was the group that chose the companies to work on this platform. Wow. The good thing is this though. This is all federal government stuff. So this is all Freedom of Information Act. This is all should be out there. You know what I mean? Complete transparency. So it shouldn't be hard to get this information. It's just most Americans don't know anything about it and they won't even look. You know what I mean? So Brother Pitney, they may allow cold storage at first, then over time, when technology makes it practical, they require you to unplug it at all times. See, that's what I think it is, bro. That's what I think it's going to be. This might take 15, 20, 25 years, but I think this is where it's going. And I believe that the governments would kind of do this in lockstep. You know what I mean? Like, like the G8 or whatever, they'll probably be like, yeah, let's do, let's work together. Maybe the G10 or something like that. They're like, hey, let's all, when we go to these final stages, let's all make everybody, I dang, I didn't mean to say that. Let's all make everyone keep their digital wallets plugged in so we can track it. And all these, all these nations. China's already going to be doing what they do. So, bro, I'm with you on that, man. I am with you on that. Let's see, DMAC, the U.S. Faster Payments Council was the group that chose the companies to work on this platform. I already read that. And yeah, and Doug is thanking Brother DMAC. Yeah, I'm thanking him too, man. That was good stuff, man. So yeah, let's go back to the article. I'm gonna go back to the article, man. So we were looking at the stuff, the issues that need to be addressed and issues that were addressed by digital currency. Issues a CBDC addresses explain. A CBDC eliminates the third-party risk of events like bank failures or runs. I don't know how. I don't understand how that's the case. They're saying that CBDC will eliminate the third-party risk of events like bank failures or runs. How? If they're running it like fiat currency, if some bank does something wrong, people will still bring. Matter of fact, you would think the run would be faster and more devastating because people would instantly take all their money out. And it's instant. Maybe they're saying that the government will back them, and that's why they're not worried about bank runs. I don't understand that one, y'all. Any residual risk that remains in the system exists with the central bank. I don't understand that one. I'm gonna have to find somebody who knows more about this stuff. Probably get somebody like Brother D Mac up here. So this is like the addresses that are explained. This is some of the issues that are explained through using a central bank digital coin. I don't agree with that one right there. It's gonna stop runs on banks. I don't know about that. High cross-border transaction costs can be lowered by reducing the complex distribution systems and increasing jurisdictional cooperation between governments. That has nothing to do with the coin. That has everything to do with treaties. If you want to make it easier to move money across the border from America to Canada or to America to Mexico or India or Pakistan or you name the country, you can handle that through treaty. You don't need a digital coin for that. And simply because you have a digital coin, you still gonna have, legal issues. There are gonna be all kind of legal issues between crossing international borders. So I don't understand that either. And y'all tell me if I'm wrong, bro. I'm just reading this. This doesn't make sense to me. The dollar is still the most used currency in the world. A U.S. central bank digital coin or currency will support and preserve its dominant position. Okay, yeah, until American business people make mistakes, right? I mean, how are we getting away from the responsibility of your action? Like how is having a digital coin going to help a company like Budweiser when they do something, when they like this whole thing with Bud Light, right? And I'm taking the politics out of it. I don't care about the trans stuff and the pronouns, but a company made a marketing move They caused the majority, not the majority, but a huge chunk of their financial base, their consumer base, to leave them. So simply because they left and they took their digital coins, it still did as much damage as leaving and taking their fiat money. So I don't understand having a digital coin how is that gonna stop that? Or am I looking at it wrong? You know what I mean? Is it me not understanding what they're trying to say? Maybe that's it. I don't know. Removes the cost of implementing a financial structure within a country to bring financial access to the unbanked population. So I guess they're saying there's no need for a brick and mortar. There's no need for a brick and mortar bank if you're using this. And that's what Brother Pitney was saying. Pitney, because you don't need ATMs anymore. I guess you don't need banks anymore. So if you're going in to get a loan, I guess it would just change the way banks look because there's no money there. So if you want a loan, I guess it'll all be virtual. No more shaking someone's hand unless you're over a certain amount. Like if you're going in getting millions and millions of dollars, I'm sure there's a place you can meet up and talk with a banking official to apply for a loan, or maybe they'll all be virtual. I don't know. You see how people are getting further and further apart. There was a lot to be said for going into an institution and, and getting yourself a loan and getting approved and shaking the hand and signing the paperwork. So okay, I can see that. All right, I can see that point. And it says central bank digital currency can establish a direct connection between consumers and the central banks, thus eliminating the need for expensive infrastructure. I think it's illegal. I think it's illegal for the central banks to do business with Americans. I think that's a law. I don't think you can't legally do business with the Fed, the Federal Reserve, as an individual. You can't. So they would have to change the law to allow that. And that's scary too. Because right there, that bullet point says to me that we're going to do away with all banks, and the only bank you can deal with is the government bank. That's the only bank you can deal with. Is that what they want to do? I don't like the way this sounds, y'all. I don't like the way this sounds. You know what I mean? Brother D-Mike is telling Brother Doug, he's like, I've been in IT for the last 25 years, did a lot of government contracting. Man, I definitely need to get you on the show, bro. I need to get you on the show. Welcome. I'm going to be bugging you about that, player. Trust me. Trust me. Brother Pitney, it sounds like the CBDC would be backed by the government. Right. Right. No intermediary financial institutions. Right. It's just you dealing with Uncle Sam. It's only one bank in town now. You're dealing with our bank, our rules. You're going to do what we tell you to do. You're going to show us what we want you to show us, which they already have anyway. Oh man, I don't like this. This is what's that movie, man? 1984. Here it is for real. Here it is for real. Brother D-Mac, the ultimate goal is to have a currency that's agnostic. The key thing you want to look at, what will the bridge coin technology, what would the bridge coin to do the conversion of the currency? So what's the technology to do the conversion? That's good. That's good to know about. And who owns that? Would that be owned by the government as well? Bros, this is some stuff you want to think about. This is what you want to think about. You know, Brother Doug Fair now looks like it will be the new bank. Yeah, this is what you want to think about, y'all. This is something. This is something. So CBDCs versus cryptocurrencies. The cryptocurrency ecosystem provides a glimpse of an alternative currency system in which cumbersome regulations do not dictate the terms of each transaction. They are hard to duplicate or counterfeit and are secured by consensus mechanisms that prevent tampering. Central bank digital currencies are designed to be similar to cryptocurrencies, but they may not require blockchain technology or consensus mechanisms. Well, that's what makes cryptocurrencies so attractive. Is there, people do all that mining and they verify the coin. So I mean, they're removed from any central government, at least the way I understand it. And I have a very, very limited, understanding of cryptocurrencies. But that's what I mean. And it goes on, it says it right here. Additionally, cryptocurrencies are unregulated and decentralized. Their value is dictated by investor sentiment, usage, and their interest. They are volatile assets more suited for speculation, which makes them unlikely candidates for use in a financial system that requires stability. Central bank digital currencies mirror the value of fiat currencies and are designated for stability. Are designed for stability and safety. So, and then it goes into central bank digital currencies at a glance. It talks about and here's a list of some of the countries that are out there. Uh, you know, yeah, like there's some very small countries, and Patrick Bet David talks about this. There are 80 other countries with CBDCs initiatives and projects underway. Okay, it kind of gets into some other stuff. Let me go ahead. Let me put this in the chat for you guys to go check this out. So there it is. There's the article, guys. Go ahead and check that out. A lot of good information there. A lot of good information there. Brother D-Mac, the world is getting sick and tired of the US dollar. The goal is to get a unrivaled is to get a I'm sorry, is to get a universal. Yeah, I get you now. My bad. I hacked that up. But yeah, the world is getting tired of the US dollar. Um, China and Russia and Saudi Arabia and some of our, some other people that we're cool with, even India is involved in this, trying to destroy the petrodollar. That story's been out there last week and circulating. So yeah, people are getting tired of the US dollar and they want something more universal. That makes sense to me, bro. That makes sense to me. So there's the link to the article right there. Man, that's crazy. So there's some out there from the Cato Institute that I found as well. I just wanted to real quick kind of brush over that. Central bank digital currency. I think what we just saw was pretty, kind of answered a lot of the questions, especially for someone like me who doesn't understand what it is. But this is from the Cato Institute, and it says central banks around the world are actively exploring central bank digital currencies. In fact, several central banks have now launched their own CBDC, yet these efforts have struggled to gain traction among citizens. Yeah, because people want paper money. While CBDC proponents present many potential benefits, those benefits do not stand up to scrutiny. In short, these proponents fail to meaningfully distinguish CBDCs from the digital dollar that exists today. Yet, CBDCs are not just a story of government waste or cronyism. While CBDCs don't offer any unique benefits to the American people, they do pose serious risks to financial privacy and economic freedom. From expanding financial surveillance to destabilizing the financial system, CBDCs could impose enormous costs on the U.S. citizens. Put simply, there is no reason for the federal government to issue a central bank digital currency when the costs are so high and the benefits are so low. Congress should ensure that the federal government does not issue a CBDC. Well, they didn't mince their words there at all, did they? They are absolutely against it. They're absolutely against it. And they're probably against it for a lot of the stuff that we talked about a couple minutes ago. They're absolutely against that. Let me pop this in here too. I'm gonna put this in the chat too, so y'all can go back. Y'all can go back and look at this. And if the cost is high like that, if it's gonna, put all that pressure on the American people, maybe they should hold off on this digital currency until the cost isn't so prohibitive. Maybe, you know what I mean? Maybe. So before we get to Patrick Bet David, and I can't wait to get to his talk about it. He talks about the dark side of central bank digital coins. Before we get to that, I needed to get someone out there that's for this sort of technology and whatever. And I was able to find AOC's take on this. You know, I ain't gonna matter. People be clowning her. But I think Congressman Cortez is fine. I think she is a cute T. People be clowning her, but I don't. Holla, 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 holla. Me holla at you, Congresswoman. You know what I mean? So, but she has a YouTube page, y'all. I don't know if y'all knew that. She's got 12,400 or so subscribers. She's got a YouTube page. I don't like this. I haven't subscribed yet. I don't know. I have to maybe look at subscribing. I don't know. But this page is 100%. You know, it's just, you know, it's a political page. It is what it is. It's not like she's doing a podcast or something like that, which wouldn't be a bad idea if she did a podcast. But let's listen to what she has to say. It's about a 5-minute video, man. Let's listen to what AOC has to say about all this.
I wanted to take the time today to explore some of the implications of central bank digital currencies for folks kind of following at home. A digital dollar would resemble in certain ways cryptocurrencies such as Bitcoin or Ethereum in certain limited respects, but differ in very important ways as well. Now, Dr. Levin, rather than a tradable asset with wildly fluctuating prices that we see in certain crypto markets, and limited real life use as a currency, a central bank digital currency would function more like dollars and have more widespread acceptance, presumably, correct?
So when she said all that, I'm like, yo, are you asking him or telling him? Like, what are you doing, love? Man, yeah, but this week, you know, this was a hearing that they had. I think this hearing was last week. Brother Doug, AOC is an air brain, but she has some good ideas on rare occasions. She will be dangerous in the future. Yeah, I can see that. I mean, you know, she's college educated, man. She was hustling. She was out there doing her bartending stuff and got into politics. Getting this seat was no small task. I mean, for real, I tip my hat to her. She did something right politically. She has the seat and she's held on to it. And, you know what I mean? She's kind of entrenched herself into the American zeitgeist, bro. Like, she's out there. She knows what she's doing. She knows how to keep that seat, at least. She knows when to be quiet. She knows when to say stuff. You know what I mean? I think that was a lot of that was Nancy Pelosi kind of let her know, like, yeah, you got here, but we can get you out kind of thing. Because, you know, Nancy Pelosi is a real G, y'all. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. She a beast. I would hate to have her count her amongst my enemies. For real. So I think ALC has figured it out. Like, again, she was struggling like every other American when she got in the office. This is one of the people I keep my eyes on. And not just because I think she's attractive. I'm just talking about watching her career and what's going on with her. Her net worth right now, they have her net worth at around $200,000 as her net worth, living in New York and all that, you know, based on how much she makes, you know, from her seat. It's like, 200. You know what I mean? It's starting to go up, y'all, very slowly. Very slowly. But I tell you what, if her net worth isn't over $1 million in 5 years, I will be shocked. And I'm like, all right, where you hiding the money? So, and then when that digital currency comes around, there is no hiding money easily. So, you know what I mean? Like I said, I ain't mad at her, but let's continue. Let's listen to what else she has to say.
Right. The point is that with a central ledger in an electronic world, you can have instant, free, secure transactions.
Right.
That's why, I mean, coming back to this other thing, when I think about digital world like cell phone, we don't say, well, is this for work or is it for home?
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's for everything. And so it's all the above. And so absolutely having a free, safe, secure, instant transaction platform that every American can use is what we should have had already. We need it now.
Thank you.
And everything he just said right there, right? These are the people, the ideal people, the idealists they ain't really trying to hurt nobody, man. They see the world as, rainbows and candy canes, bro. They're trying. They're like, what he's saying is true. You should be able to have your phone, and when they designed these phones, was it business, was it military, was it personal use? It was everything. It's technology. We're moving forward. Okay, I get that. And they're saying, well, you should be able to move money transaction free and da. We know it's going to be transactions. It's never going to be transaction free, but you see where they're coming from. All the stuff that they're saying makes sense when they're talking about digital currency. I don't see them as being these diabolical folks, who are working for the man. I don't see them as that. And I say, you know what I mean? I hope y'all not playing a drinking game. If you're playing a drinking game, you've already had to drink like 4 shots. I got to stop saying, you know what I mean? But I don't see these people as evildoers. In their mind, I truly believe that they are trying to make society a better place. I think the evildoers, right, the diabolical folks are simply using them, feeding them what they know they want to hear in order to push the agenda, whatever the agenda may be. So a lot of people get mad at these folks. I'm like, I ain't really mad at them. I almost said it. I ain't really mad at them. It's just, I wish they would think it through. Like, why is this person helping me? Why is this person flooding, millions and millions of dollars into this campaign? Or why is the person doing this or that? I would be asking those questions. And I would tell them, man, tell me the truth, bro. Don't come in here and try to, blow smoke up my butt. Tell me the truth, and then I'll give you a yes or a no. But that's not how the system works. Brother Doug's like, AOC got the squad to back her. Show. They came in there and had to sit down with her, man. She has a major problem with capitalism, yet she is a capitalist when she started her clothing business. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And that's a good way. Actually, that's a good way to hide your net worth. You start a clothing business, you run everything through that. So your clothing business might be worth 300 million. That's not your money. That's the company's money. I don't make that money. My money comes from the government. Bam, there it is. Let's keep our eye on that company. Hey, brother Doug, what clothing business does she has, bro? You got a link on that? I didn't even know that, bro. I want to check that out. But let's continue.
Just to clarify, it would also be fully regulated under a central authority, right? Yeah.
So I think there's been some agreement among a number of us at this table that these should be 100% backed by reserves held at the Fed. So there's no concern that the stablecoin provider might go bankrupt. Okay, and then there's a panic. And
thank you. I'm sorry, I just have limited time. Now, economists like Claudia Sahm have, and as we've heard throughout the hearing, agree that direct stimulus payments, like the checks that Americans received during the pandemic, can shorten recessions. And although stimulus payments help stabilize the economy during the pandemic, delivery was sometimes slow. And even the IRS and the Treasury just announced last week that 2.2 million stimulus payments were made in late July. These were the stimulus payments that people got months ago after the original passing of the American Rescue Plan. Now, this is not because of some technical, payments getting lost in technology or bureaucracy. It's because the most vulnerable people in our society are hardest to reach. People who don't have consistent mailing addresses, people who are unbanked, a lot of times because it's too expensive to be banked, people who don't file taxes because they make too little money. And these are real issues. And so my question is, with the CBDC, it's all about the design. It's not just the idea, it's the execution, design, and implementation.
And she's right. Again, these folks are really trying to do good. They really are do-gooders, right? That's what they're trying to do. But I think they're naive in their approach. Because what she was talking about, the people who are unbanked, there are people out there, and it's like, well, why wouldn't you have a bank account? Because the banks will run you over coals with fees. I remember back in the late 90s, I was with Bank of America. I will never bank with Bank of America. Them people, with every chance they get, they had their hand in your pocket. And I remember they would charge so many different fees. I would ask them, I went into the bank, into the branch to ask, what are these fees? I'm talking like in a month, there might have been $500 worth of fees at one point. Like $500 worth of fees. Like, what is going on here? And I went in to talk to them about all these fees. When I questioned them on most of those fees, they removed them and they refunded the money for about maybe half. They refunded the money. And I told them, like, man, if I see one more crazy fee, I'm not going to bank with you guys anymore. And the next week, when my statement came out like a week later or so, you know what I mean? There was a fee on there for me going into the bank and talking to them about the fees, bro. That was it. I went in there, like, give me all my money. Shut it all down. Take your credit card. I don't want none of this. I don't want none of it. They charged me for going into the bank to ask them about fees that they were charging me that they shouldn't have been charging me. They charged me for that. That was that. I will never bank with Bank of America again. I'm pretty sure there's other banks out there, but this was in the late 90s. They were the absolute worst. The absolute worst. So I went to my credit union. I've been with them ever since after that. But bro, so what she's talking about makes sense. There are people out there who don't bank. There are people that get paid. They go to a check cashing place, or they'll go to the liquor store and they'll sign a check over. You know, they'll lose, it costs them, I don't know, $10 or whatever. They'll sign a check over, they work it out. There are a lot of people who don't bank. And there's a lot of money out there, right? And we know criminals don't necessarily bank, at least not with the money they're making off the streets. And I don't think that the do-gooders are even thinking about that. If they are, they're not talking about it. So I see what she's trying to do. There are, like I said, it's making sense. It's making sense what they're trying to do. You want to help, but they're not thinking it completely through, in my opinion. And again, she was asking these questions that weren't questions. She was kind of telling them, like, this will be fully regulated, right? This will go through the central bank, right? But I get it. She didn't have a lot of time and whatever. But still, you can't do stuff like that, y'all. You can ask your question and let them answer.
And my question is, in that similar vein, what would make a well-designed CBDC system that helps overcome some of these existing issues that we have seen with banks and with just the delivery of stimulus checks? Ms. Coronado?
So one of the key pieces of the design is that the lower income households should have no fees whatsoever to engage, and that some of the technology access questions would be part of the infrastructure that's built. Whether that's a digital card that they're provided or kiosks, some sort of access to their accounts that is free and built and available to them to engage in the transactions.
Got it.
You see what I mean, do-gooders? This all sounds great in theory. But everyone in that room, the people on that table, Representative Cortez, AOC, they all understand that nothing's free. Someone's got to pay for it. Nothing's free. We all know this. So I see what you're trying to do. But I would argue it's impossible. Instead, I would say it would be, the fees would be restricted. Extremely low fees. Like the max fee that they would ever pay per month would be, I don't know, say something crazy like $1 or $5 or something like that. To me, that would sound more realistic. But to say, well, there's no fees, man, someone's going to have to pick up the bill.
And there has been some discussion, even most recently, and we heard in the last few minutes, about two-tier systems. And Dr. Coronado, in your testimony, you say, quote, preserving a two-tier system of private providers would promote competition and continued innovation, while Fed oversight would promote that safety and soundness. Now, by two-tier systems, you're referring to how certain banks like Wells Fargo, Bank of America, JP Morgan can bank with the Federal Reserve, but regular Americans cannot, right? That's what you're alluding to? Okay. Now, I just want to be clear.
And maybe she's about to say this, but you legally can't bank with the Federal Reserve if you're a citizen. The Federal Reserve, you have to be a bank to, if I'm not mistaken, to deal with the Federal Reserve. And then the notion that the Federal Reserve is going to maintain stability, I don't buy that for a second. The whole reason we're having this trouble now, we're trying to figure out what we're going to do with inflation. We've had interest rates at basically zero for over a decade. Jerome Powell and the Federal Reserve is trying to get the interest rates up so he can take, battle inflation. We do that, and then all of a sudden, bam, we got problems with the regional banks who were making bad decisions. So, I mean, it's just, and now the Federal Reserve, people are like putting pressure on Powell, like, you got to lower the rates now. He still wants to go up. They're still betting there's going to go up a quarter, a basis point or something like that. They're still betting. It's like 25 basis points, I think, is by this fall. They think that it's going to go up. When everyone else, Wall Street is like, no, like, stay where it is or go down. So how is the Federal Reserve going to get some sort of stability when the banking system is in chaos right now? There's some people out there that tell you, like, man, we're almost at a point where the banking system is about to completely collapse. That's the Fed. You know what I mean? Like, it's crazy. What's going on here is crazy. Brother Pitney, last week Merrill Lynch reached into my account and took money out without disclosing why. I think I'll be dropping them soon, man. Yeah, be careful. But they're all going to do it. But yeah, and they'll never break any rules. It's just there's so many clauses and people don't even read the terms and conditions or whatever. You got to be careful, man. Watch your money, man. They're in there. They're in there. Brother D-Mac, when you bring digital currencies, digital assets, and tokenizing to real world assets, bro, I don't know how this is going to work. When you combine cryptocurrencies, digital assets, and tokenize with real world assets, this is deflationary solution to get America out of trillions of dollars of debt. I believe that, bro. I believe that. Brother Nidish is in the house. What's good, fam? Oh, wrong button. I thought I already fixed that. What's good, brother? Brother Nidish in the house. Brother Doug. Okay, her online closing business is tied to her campaign. She paid another company $1.4 million to operate her business. Yeah, man, I appreciate that link. I'm gonna look that up, man. I appreciate that link. I'm gonna look that up for real. There's so many different ways to hide your money or move your money around. But we hear what you say. Like these folks, like these do-gooders, they really want to do something positive, and they hold on to stuff like this, and they just see the good that they want to see in it, but they're not seeing the dark side of it, or they're not seeing how the government could use this against the various people that they want to help. And the last thing I'll say is this: people always want to help those at the bottom, and the people at the top, they control all the politicians and the judges and the banks and whatever. They control the money. So it's the people in the middle who continue to get squeezed. They get squeezed. So the people at the bottom, you give them a couple breadcrumbs, but that's not helping anybody in the long term. And the do-gooders, they overlook that, man.
Clear here, just for clarification, there is no legal, technical, or operational requirement as to why banks or private payment companies need to be involved, correct? In other words, the federal government could provide public digital currency services directly to the public if it wanted to, like the Postal
Like a
Service
postal
provides
bank. Sure, yes.
money to. Okay, thank you. Now,
I don't understand that part. The way I understand it, it is illegal. They would have to change the rules. So when they're saying like the postal bank, because you can go into the post office and do banking. You can get money and you can buy money orders and stuff like that. I don't know if you can buy bonds, but you can do transactions through the post office. But isn't that different than doing business with the Fed Reserve? Man, y'all let me know, bro. This doesn't sound right to me. This doesn't sound right to me, man, at all. But let's continue.
I think one of the things that we're seeing here is that we're facing a choice. Congress is facing a choice, whether we want to give, Wall Street another tool of being in charge of the public's money and payments, or whether we can potentially establish a public option here as well. Now, one concern that we hear in CBDC conversations, my time is up. I'm sorry, so I can't get to the last question. I'll file.
It's not a public option. AOC, that's not a public option. That's a good buzzword. That's going to make a lot of people feel, oh yeah, we're talking about a public option, because I heard public option when it comes to medicine, and I like that. Nah. I understand, like, we don't want to give Wall Street another tool. Okay, I see where you're coming from. So we're going to give more power to the government. They already got more power than he, man. That's the thing. Nah. No, we can't do that. We can't do that. So that's what AOC had to say about it. And then again, I said I saved the best for last. We got Patrick McDavid. That's my guy. Value Chamber put something out. And definitely want to get into that. Brother Doug, well, the Federal Reserve has its new app that's like Cash App, Fed Now. I didn't know that, bro. Fed Now. Someone in the chat said something about Fed Now. I didn't know that. Huh. I wouldn't use that to cash no money nowhere, except maybe to pay the government. I'll pay the government with Fed Now if I had to send them some money. But I wouldn't, you know what I mean, Brother Doug, I wouldn't send you money with Fed Now. They'll be looking at where my money came from, and they'll be looking at where your money is going. But that's funny. I didn't know that. So all right, this last one right here. This is about 7 minutes. This is almost 8 minutes. And this is Patrick McDavid. Man, let's just really pay attention to this one. Because what he's saying, I mean, he brings up some good points, and there's some stuff that I think we all should be thinking about. Brother Doug is like, it will launch in July. Man, that's crazy, man. Fed Now. Nah, bro, stay away from that one. Like, stay away from that one. Fed Now will launch in July, y'all. That's the government's version of Cash App. Yeah, if you're going to use that, only use that to pay child support, pay for tickets. You know what I mean? Like you got like a speeding ticket or whatever. Pay your lawyers with it. Yeah, so the government and IRS could be looking at your lawyer. Just use that to pay people you ain't really cool with, right? Don't send your mama money with that. Fed Now. Yo, Fed Now. That's crazy. So, all right, here we go. Patrick McDavid, Valuetainment. You know, Pat McDavid, that's really, look up his story, man. You want to talk about someone, you know, self-made man, pulling yourself up by the bootstraps. You know, I would say his net worth is, you know, I don't know exactly where it is, but I think it's north of 300 million. He's in insurance. He's an entrepreneur. He does valuetainment. Man, I wish he would get more involved in politics. He's like a behind the scenes guy in politics, I would say. I'm just making, you know, I'm assuming because he likes politics. I think he's a behind the scenes guy. Yeah. Came from nothing, built himself up. He's a veteran. He was in the United States Army. He was in the 101st Airborne Division, which is air assault. Didn't jump out of airplanes. Air assault, they normally throw ropes down and slide down the ropes, but I don't even think they do that anymore. Helicopters just land, they jump out. But still, that's who. If you add, that's who. 101st, that's a line unit. He was stationed mostly at Fort Campbell, Kentucky. I know all this is from watching his podcast and stuff like that. Yo, if you've never heard of this man, look him up. Seems like a real cool guy. Here are his thoughts on CBDC. And this is from YouTube. Like, again, go check him out, Valuetainment. Please go over there, like and subscribe, and check him out. So let's have a listen.
Digital currency. Some are saying it's a great idea.
You know, my question is, in that similar vein, what would make a well-designed CBDC system that helps overcome some of these existing issues that we have seen with banks and with just the delivery of stimulus checks?
Some are saying it's a horrible idea.
Are you interested in giving these economic central planners more power over our economy, more power over your daily life and your economic activity? And I answer that question, double hockey sticks, no.
Who's right? All right, so if you get value from this video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. Let's get right into it. What is CBDC? The easiest way to explain it is, think about Bitcoin, right? It's a decentralized currency that's used, but it's decentralized. No one's regulating it. No one knows who owns it. Now imagine if a Bitcoin currency is created, but it's controlled and regulated by the government. That's CBDC. So how much momentum are they creating with this whole concept of CBDC? Who's for it? Who's against it? According to AtlanticCouncil.org, in May 2020, only 35 countries were considering a CBDC. Today, 114 countries are exploring CBDC, equal to 95% of the global GDP. Currently, 60 countries are in the advanced phases of exploring their own CBDC, while in the last 2 years, 11 countries have already launched their own currency into operations. We're talking Nigeria, Bahamas, Anguilla, Dominica, Grenada, St. Lucia, Montserrat, St. Vincent, St. Kitts, Nevis, and most recently Jamaica. Now, obviously, these are all small countries. They don't have high GDPs, but G7 economies have now entered the development stage of CBDC, and China's pilot is set to be rolled out to most of the country sometime this year. And on top of that, 18 of the G20 countries are now in the advanced stages of CBDC development, and nearly every G20 country has invested a significant amount of time and resources into these projects over the past 6 months. So obviously we're far along. This isn't something that they're just kind of playing around with. But what do you think? You think it's a good idea or a bad idea? Here's what they're saying the pros and the cons are. Pros.
So right away, like, shout out to Patrick Bet-David, man. He does good work, man. But I mean, of course he does. He has a team behind him, and he's got a bunch of money behind him. And I, you know what I mean? Like I said, I'm trying to get there. And he's getting to the pros and cons. He's asked the same question I've been asking. So yeah, we definitely want to look at this. You know, what are the pros and cons behind this? Brother D Mac, man, with the $10 super chat. Appreciate that, bro. Questions. What would happen if 30,000 black folks purchased $200 of Bank America stock tomorrow morning? Will they start to listen to black folks? I saw that while the video was running. I grabbed my phone, and that's about what? That's $6 million. Is that $6 million? 30,000 black folks purchased $200 each. 6 million. I think if one black person bought $6 million worth of their stock tomorrow, that black person can get a seat at the table. He can get some questions answered. I think if those maybe I think it would take more money, bro. I think it would take more money to get them to listen, to be honest with you. But it would definitely it would open their eyes. They would look at it. Well, where do these black folks come from? You know, buying these stocks, and who controls them. So that would be my thing. But if if it were more money, let's say you get 30,000 black folks who were able to buy, let's say $200 million worth of stock in a day. Yeah. And you got 3 people who represent those folks. Yeah. Yeah. Hell yeah. Bank of America will definitely take notice. And not just Bank of America, the rest of them would take notice. Chase would take notice. Like JP Morgan Chase would take notice. Wells Fargo would take notice. All the big banks would take notice if something like that were to go down. But that's what it takes. And that's what we should be doing. You know what I mean? Seriously, as a community, we should be looking at those type of options to at least get a seat at the table. I agree with you there, bro. I agree with you there, man. One more Don DeMarco just for having the thought. Just for having the thought, bro. Brother Doug Valuetainment also has a podcast called PBD Podcast. Yep. And that's my favorite. PBD Podcast is my favorite. So please go over there and check them out over there. And Brother Doug's like, yeah, that's an interesting question. I just think that's not enough money. Brother D-Mac, that's the new Process 4.0 when black folks really understand what the white man values. Yeah. Yeah, that is the real protest. Yeah. I mean, and my thing is this, it's simply understanding how things work. As a community, bro, I mean, there's folks out there to say that the black community no longer exists. You know, we can have that conversation on another podcast. I know Brother Dusto's in the house. You know what I mean? He's one of those guys. It's like there is no black community anymore. You know what I mean? So shout out to Brother Dusto, Scam Likely. But as a community, and this is what I try to do. This is what I work when I talk to young men. You know, here in Central Florida, we started an organization. We call ourselves the New Templars. These are the conversations that we have. We meet once a month and we talk about these things. And yo, Brother D-Mac, best believe I'm going to pose this question to the group Friday. We meeting Friday. I'm going to pose this question to the group. And it's not just black guys. The group is made up of men, young men who are trying to better themselves, and old men too. Every bubble is represented. We have everyone in there, man. White, black, Asian. You know what I mean? Liberal, conservative, crazy. We got them all in there. We got them all in there, and we have these discussions. This is something that men used to do back in the day, and they stopped doing it. This is what they would do in the Moose Lounge, Moose Lodges. This is what they would do at the VFW. This is what they would do in Masonic meetings. This is what they would do in Shriners meetings. It goes on and on and on and on. These are the conversations that men would have. They would challenge each other, and they would, you know, seek to find solutions and figure out what they're going to do. But I think that's a great question, bro. And again, I appreciate the super chat, man. Thank you so much, brother. But yeah, that's definitely it, man. Like I said, brother Dusto, you know what I mean, D-Mac, up to 1,000. Yeah, up to 1,000. Like I said, it boils down to the bottom line, bro. If $6 million from one individual, okay, somebody come shake your hand. All right, that's cool. But if it's $600 million from a small group of people, like, bro, they, you know what I mean? They send in a helicopter to pick up your representative. They're going to call you and ask your opinion on stuff. The more money, the more influence. And this is something that we don't understand as a people. I wish we would. You know, brother Doug, 44 million is our population. Is that like black folks? Is 44 million of us over here? You know what I mean? Or people who identify as black. I always think that's hilarious how they do that. D-Mac, next time, it's 100,000 black folks, right? No, I'm reading that right? I mean, it is what it is, bro. You get my point. I definitely get your point, bro. Like, you know what I mean? Like a million. That Million Man March was amazing, by the way. For those who didn't remember, like that, the one day, like, shout out to the Nation of Islam for putting that together. 1 million black men marched on Washington for one day and left. They didn't spend a dime on the local economy. They came in there. The speakers spoke. They said what they had to say, and then they left. I didn't go, and I will never forgive myself for not going. I should have been there. I thought it was going to be a waste of time. I was wrong. I was very cynical as a young dude. I was wrong. And I should have been there. The men who went to the Million Man March, bro, when they came back and they talked about it, I mean, it was just such an amazing thing, and I missed out on that. Especially this was before I was really focused on my networking. Let something like that happens again. I wish someone would do something like that, a Million Man March somewhere. I think that would be great. Trust and believe it'll be a lot of police there. But, you know, we're there, no problems. We're going to do what we got to do. We got Brother Don in the house. 007, what's good, fam? It would take $1 billion to move the needle. Yeah. I think if you got $600 million tomorrow, it's going to turn some heads. $1 billion? Absolutely. Absolutely. You know what I mean? Absolutely. Brother Scan, like Friday, I'm off Friday. I'll send you the details, bro. I'll send you the details. This group, we get together we get together once a month. And I'll send you the details, bro. I'll send them to you tonight. Don't worry. I'll text you. It's in the International Mall, bro. And before I forget, there's no dancing at the spot for the next couple weeks, bro. They got concerts. I went last week. They had a concert. They got a concert this Friday. There's no dancing at the spot, bro. But there's some other spots out there if you want to, you know what I mean, want to hit a joint up. We'll talk about it at the meeting on Friday. And so yeah. You know what I mean? D-Mac at Brother Don 007. It's easy to get $1 billion with enough black folks. It should be easy to get $1 billion. I mean, with the right black folks, but you know, I think it's really difficult to have these conversations with some folks because they don't understand the long-term goals. They just think about the short term. And how you get people to commit the money, how long will they leave the money there before they pull it out and they get nervous about something or whatever? So I think it would be great if it could be done. If we could do it, I think it would be great. You know what I mean? Just to show that we're here, man. It's like that will be 8.8 billion. That's what's up, man. And Brother Scam, like the Nation of Wiglam will be doing the 1 million modern woman march in Atlanta. Hilarious. Hilarious. Brother Mandrell, the Million Man March was a failure. Hey, I didn't go, man. I mean, just the people I talked to that went there, just the fellowship, they went there, they went there and did the event, and then they left, and there was no drama. That's what I'm talking about. Now, did the message reach the masses? Obviously not. The message kind of fizzled out when they got back to, you know, to the hoods, you know, from C to C. Yeah, it fizzled out. And I think that's what Brother Mandrell is referring to. I ain't mad at you, bro. But the fact that they pulled it off, I didn't think they'd be able to pull it off, and they did. I should have been there. I'm so mad I didn't go. And D-Mac and Brother Doug, you get my point. Everyone can do this with the cell phone. Yeah. The scam like it. Got you. Yes, sir. It's Friday. I'll send you the information, bro. And Brother Doug, I get it. And I say, Brother D-Mac, it would get some attention for sure. It absolutely would. It absolutely would. So let's get back to Patrick Bet-David and the pros and cons of central bank digital currency.
Increase payment efficiency, complement current forms of money and financial services, deter criminal activity, improve international payment options, potentially reduce net transaction costs, benefiting lower income households. So now here are the cons. Overhauling the current financial system could create instability. The effectiveness of monetary policy may deteriorate, operational difficulties, cybersecurity risk, and last but not least, privacy, as there's a loss of ability to transact anonymously. So let's talk about that one. Anonymously. Do you like to be anonymous with what you're purchasing? What if I ask you right now, you go to your job and I'm the boss. I'm trying to hire you for a job. And I say, hi, before we consider you as an employee, could you please submit all your credit card and your expenditure on what you've spent the last 90 days or 6 months? We'd like to see what your buying habits are. What would you say to me? Actually, what would you say to me? Are you not upset right now or offended right now? You'd say, who the hell are you to ask me a question like that? You know when's the last time somebody asked you where they tracked everything you bought? You were probably 17 years old and you were using mommy or daddy's credit card and they tracked every one of your purchases. Why? Because you were a kid. So let me get this straight, US government. I'm 44 years old, a grown man of 4 kids, and you get to see everything I buy, invest in. What kind of data does that give you? Do you now automatically, you can go based on seeing what purchases people make and say, I know where this guy leans. I know what this guy's doing. I know what that guy's doing. Let's help this guy with more financing. Let's hurt this guy. Let's hurt that. So you know what I'm saying? So are you okay with people tracking everything you're buying, you're purchasing, decision-making process? And what if all of a sudden you get too loud? And what if right now, like the silencing of somebody is if you are against vaccine? But it may be something else a year from now, 5 years from now, 10 years from now. What if you have an opinion? What if there's a culture war again in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years? You're like, no, I'm not against these robots doing this. What if one day they're like, hey, robot can be a better president than the average person. Let's vote for a robot like that. Are you out of your mind? Are you serious? But if all of a sudden you fight against it, hey, bring that access down. Hey, you can't say too much. His digital currency, her digital currency. What if? Now somebody may say, Pat, that's not going to be happening. Well, okay, no problem. I think an author back in the days wrote a business book called Only the Paranoid Survive, Andy Grove. Let's stay a little bit paranoid, okay?
And, this is why I like listening to Pat, bro, because he's going to break it down for you. And he's making a lot of sense. A lot of things that he said echoes what we were saying earlier in this podcast. It just opens Pandora's box, bro. And I didn't even think about that part. You're applying for a job and they're like, we want to see where you've been spending, how much and how you've been spending your money for the past, 60 days, 180 days. What? You feel me? So, and again, digital currency, if there's no more paper money, that's every transaction is tracked. Every single transaction. So that's one of those things to think about, man. It's like, you gotta be paranoid, maybe a little bit. Maybe you should be paranoid a little. Now, when this comes online and this becomes the real thing, this is the everyday thing, there are absolutely going to be workarounds. They're going to be workarounds, but the workaround will be illegal. So if you use the workaround, you are a criminal. You would be breaking the law, right? Just like we were saying before with the, do you have to have your wallet attached to the network at all times? That might be the law. And if you decouple your wallet, you could be a criminal. This is what he's talking about. The paranoid point makes a lot of sense to me. I mean, Brother D-Mac, if they don't have $1,000, those are people you don't want to join you. Yes, man, that's part of networking, bro. You got to make sure you got your money right. And if you don't have your money right and you come to us, and we're talking about the new Templars, you come to us and you want to earn, it's like, cool, you can't join us until you can pay the membership fee up front for 1 year. That's the only way we let you join. You have to pay 100% of your dues up front your first year. And if you can't do that, you can still come to the meetings. You can't vote. You can come to the meetings, right? You have access, limited access to what we're doing, but you'll learn how to make money. You'll learn how to get out there and do certain things so you can get that money up. And then you can come and take your place among us once you pay your thing. So I agree with you on that. That is real important. You know what I mean? Being able to get your money up. And Brother D-Mac and Brother Doug, white folks would be like, WTF, they finally understand their power. Not just white folks, man, the whole world. The whole world, bro. You know what I mean? Because when people from Africa come to this country, when people from China come to this country, from Vietnam come to this country, you know what I mean? Like, and when I say Africa, I mean most, if not all of the African nations. When they come over here, within a generation, they're business owners, they're homeowners, they have funds set up, they have savings. So people from all over America come to America and they take full advantage of the American dream. It seems to me everyone takes full advantage of the American dreams except for the African Americans, for whatever reason. So when we do something like that, bro, it won't just be the white folk, man. I'm here to tell you, the whole world would take notice if we get off our butts as people and go out here and get it. Now, a lot of people don't know. So we have to each one teach one. That's what it boils down to. A lot of people don't know. So we have to show them the way. At least that's what I'm trying to do here in Central Florida. I'm the old dude in the room, and I'm doing my best to share what little knowledge I have and to share all of my L's so these young men and some of these old men can win. You know what I mean? They can learn from my mistakes and they can go out here and win. And I suggest that each one of y'all do that. You don't have to start a group, but just holler at some people. There's a young guy that works at the CVS. You know, and I drop my daughter off. She walks to school and you know, we pick up and drop off at the CVS. It's a young brother in there. And I'm out, whenever I see him working, I'm always talking to him. Always talking to him. You know what I mean? What else are you doing? Do you know your credit score? Or you don't know your credit score? Don't tell me, but you should know it. This is where you can think, like, well, how do I find it? This is how you can do it. You can do it for free here, or you can pay here. You know, these are the things that I'm talking to him about. Hey, man, you know, you got a credit card? You got any credit? What you doing with your life? How many jobs do you have? Just in passing, just this young brother, I'm talking to him like, man, when I was your age, I had 2 jobs. I should have had 3. Man, when I was your age, I should have left these women alone, bro. I should have focused on me and got this money up. Today, when I saw him, he looked tired. I'm like, what's up? You look tired, like you've been working. Like, yeah, I've been working. I got me another gig. Like, good. That's what you should be doing, young brother. I'm like, the harder you work now at your age, the less you have to work when you get my age. And he's like, that's what I'm trying to do. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. I'll holler at you later. I see the man. Whenever I see this young man, we talk. Do that. Do that. Help these young men. Help them. This is hard. There ain't no joke out here. They're not being taught anything in school. You don't believe me? Ask a high school senior to name 4 countries. Yeah. You could probably do that on a couple college campuses and they won't be able to answer. Brother D-Mac, you can target any company that doesn't treat black folks right or that deserves or that doesn't vote. Is that vote doesn't VO? Or it doesn't vote. And what I would challenge you, Brother D-Mac, and I agree with you, man. I'm not trying to shake your, you know what I mean, like the whole black thing. I'm not trying to shake that. But don't get bogged down in the race component too much. I would say get bogged down in the money aspect of it, man. Show me the hustlers. Yeah, it's banks out there. There's, you know, American racism is unique to America. There's no other place I could think of that's had to suffer what the black Americans had to suffer for so long. And like there's American form of racism. I get that. You know what I mean? I really do. I really do. But money changes everything, man. It's like cream, man. Cream, you know, shout out to the Wu-Tang, bro. It's all about the dollar bill. It's all about getting that bread. And it's all about knowing how to negotiate, maneuver your way through that BS. And once we're on the other side of it, maybe we can do something about it. You know, I'm a retired air traffic controller, man. I got my job from black folks who came before me. They got me in. They blazed the way. They ensured there was an opportunity for me to get there so long as I checked a couple boxes. I joined the United States Army. I became an air traffic controller. I checked a couple of boxes and they were able to help me. They got me the opportunity. And I took it from there. Now, they helped a lot of folks, a lot of black folks, but a lot of us didn't make it. because they didn't want to put in the work. They didn't realize they gave us the opportunity, but we still got to go do the work. We still got to overcome the BS. I had to overcome it. My whole career was fraught with racism, cronyism, good old boy stuff. I had to work through it. I had some wins, I had some losses, but I had the career, and now I'm retired. I had the career, and now I try to help folks get into that field. And most of them, you know, when I talk to brothers and sisters, black folk, they don't want to listen to me. But when I talk to everybody else, they right there calling me up, asking me questions, hitting me up on Instagram. I saw your video. Is that still a thing? How can I get in? You know what I mean? So I'm with you. I'm just saying, don't allow the negative part. That don't allow the BS with the racism and all that keep you from helping those who want to help themselves. You know what I mean? We definitely need to talk, brother D-Mac. We need to talk, man. Because I like the way you think, bro. We definitely need to talk, man. What part of the world you in, man? Where you at? What state you in? Brother Doug, D-Mac, they would really flip if we did the same by investing into a black-owned bank. Yeah, that would be something, bro. And that's something I'm guilty of. Man, you know how hard it is to find a black-owned bank? I know there's one in California, First Mercantile or something like that. I can't remember the name of it. There are not a lot of black-owned banks. That doesn't make sense to me. All the money that black folks spend, and there are no black-owned banks. It's like 4, I think. How many black-owned banks are out there, y'all? That's what we should be doing. At least have one account at the black-owned bank, get their credit card. We should start there. Man, I'm not going to bring that up this Friday, but I'm going to bring that up next month at our meeting. Yeah, why aren't we doing that? You know what I mean? Brother Doug, guys will have to barter for hook. Yeah, man. They got to barter for the 304s, bro. D-Mac and Brother Doug, black folks are funny acting. If you tell them you're investing in white man-ish, they will jump at it. Yeah, man. There's reasons behind that. I mean, I had people in my family when I was young that would not go to a black doctor. They're like, well, the white doctor is better. Now I understand that. These were older folks, man. These were people whose grandparents and great grandparents were, you know, affected. You know, like my grandmother's grandmother, you know, was right there, man. You talking about slavery, man? She breathed it. Think about that. We're talking about, we're just a few generations removed from slavery, from Jim Crow and all that, from strange fruit, bro. We ain't that far away from it. We're not that far away, generational wise. So when people would tell you stuff, yeah, white is better, black is subpar, we had that. Yeah, it was terrible to hear, but it was there. Like, what? But it is what it is, man. Brother Doug, all illegal transactions will go to the good old-fashioned bartering method. Maybe. It's hard to barter for some illegal drugs, fam. It's hard to barter for some Foxy Brown. Like, I mean, what are you going to be doing? If you pay someone's cable bill, that looks fishy. If somebody really wants to break down your accounts, like, why'd you pay, you know what I mean? Why'd you pay China Doll's credit bill? I mean, you know, you pay for China Doll's credit card over here, and then you pay for Silky's, you know what I mean, phone bill over there. It is one of those things. You don't never paid again. Like, who are these people to you? And it's easy to get tied up in stuff that you have no business in. I mean, I hear you, bro. I hear you. It's gonna be hard for certain crimes, man, for people to get their money, but they're gonna figure out a way to do it. They will figure out a way to do it. You know, just like back in the day when they had those phone call, those phone bank things you call in. You young people might not know what I'm talking about, but you can get on your phone and you can dial a number, and it would be some girl talking dirty to you on the other side, on the other end of the line. It would be billed as some business, you know what I mean, like, you know, LGX, you know, unlimited or something like that. It would be billed as something that doesn't sound like, you know, phone sex. It would be billed as something other. Some gentlemen's clubs do that to this day. You go into a club and you run your card or whatever, and it'll be some business that sounds completely legit. Like, who is this business? Like, oh yeah, that's the strip club. So You know, I mean, it's just they're gonna find workarounds, bro. Brother Don 007, we are already there. Apple Pay, Google Pay, PayPal, Cash App, Zelle. You think they can't track that stuff? They can track that stuff, but we still have money. You absolutely can't track what I'm doing with the cash. Absolutely can't track that. But I feel you. And people are getting themselves hemmed up. Like you're paying for some sort of illegal transaction with Zelle. That's so dumb. Like you're gonna pay. Yeah, man. Let me go ahead and get 2 kilos, bro. Let me Zelle that to you. We Cash App you that. It's so dumb. People. Well, I tell you what, people don't think, man. So yeah, it just, and I'm just gonna show. I'm trying to wrap this up. So I think I was only gonna go like an hour and a half, but we coming up on 2 hours. So I'm gonna show all the chats. But you're right, bro. You're absolutely right. You know, people are out there, man. They ain't thinking. They are not thinking. It's all convenient. It's convenient. I mean, how many dudes are paying for the extra special lap dance with their Zelle or with their PayPal? You know, back in the VIP room. You know, you already paid to get back into the room. Now you Zelling her or whatever. You Cash Apping her right there to get the extra special dance, if you know what I mean. You know what I mean? Brother D-Max and the ATL. That's what's up, bro. We definitely need to talk, man, because I'm trying to do some events this year, and I got ATL on my list. I want to do something in Atlanta, man. We definitely got to talk, bro. Thank you for coming through, man. I appreciate that. Citizens Trust in Atlanta. That's a black bank. Cool. I might have to go ahead and open an account there. Citizens Trust. I'm gonna look them up online. We should be banking with a black bank, though. We should. That black dollar should, manifest that way. You know what I mean? We should do that, y'all. Brother Mandrell, there are only 23 black-owned banks in America. Only 23, bro? Wow. I guess we're lucky we got that many. You know what I mean, Brother D-Mac? What you need to do is this. Have a black bank and have a brokerage account. Okay. I could look at that. Kill 2 birds with 1 stone. Okay. Instead of using Robinhood, man, get you a REIT right through the black bank. Why not? Take over one company while you empower another. I like that, bro. I like that. We should do a show, man. D-Mac, I'm gonna hit you up, bro. Let me put the banner up real quick. Do me a favor, brother. Hit my Cash App, man. It's I Really Want to Know podcast, all one word. Not my Cash App, my Instagram. Hit my Instagram for me, bro. I Really Want to Know podcast, all one word. Instagram. Shoot me a DM, bro, so I can add you and all that good stuff, man. Let's work some stuff out, bro. I think we could talk, man. We should do a militant show, a demilitant show, and we should talk about that. And the way to empower the black dollar. It would be a good show, man. That would be a good show. And even if you don't want to be on the show, like, you just give me the information and I'll do the show. You know what I mean? Yeah, bro, let's do that, man. How to empower the black dollar. And yes, please, man, hit me up on Instagram. I Really Want to Know podcast, all one word, bro. Hit me up, man. Let me see your brother Doug. It's a shame I can't remember the name of my black-owned bank. Yeah, it's changed names so many times. That's terrible. Why is it changing names? You got girlfriend problems? Give me a sec. I'll drop the Instagram. Thanks. I appreciate that, bro. Thanks, brother Doug. I appreciate that, man. So let's finish up the Patrick Bet-David's. We're like a little bit more than halfway through this Patrick Bet-David video. And remember, he listed the pros and he was talking about the cons about privacy concerns, right? Remember all that stuff he just said. So let's continue.
I want you to think about this. Who's for it? Well, the top 5 banks are for it. They think CBDC is a great idea. Why would Chase, B of A, Wells, Citi, why would these guys want CBDC? Well, because there's not a founder in those banks. Those banks are pretty much working for the US government. No, they're not. Yes, they are. The government dictates the rates. The government gives them money. The government bails them out. They have to work with the government on a daily basis, pretty much. So they're pretty much owned by the government. Not necessarily, it's still on the stock market, but they communicate more with the government than they do with you. They don't want no Bitcoin to blow up. They want CBDC. With Bitcoin, they can't control you. It's decentralized. They like control. Are you okay with the way they're thinking? If you are, you should be for CBDC. Elizabeth Warren is for CBDC. AOC is for CBDC. US government is for CBDC. Who's not for CBDC? Free thinkers, entrepreneurs, libertarians, guys who are innovators, disruptors, who want to live their lives and kind of be left alone. They want to make the decisions that they're making, and as long as they don't break the laws, they're kind of going out there about themselves. These guys don't want to be controlled. So this whole CBDC thing comes down to two things. If you like to be controlled, you're for CBDC. If you want to think for yourself and not be controlled, you're not for CBDC. If you like somebody else to make decisions for you, you are for CBDC. If you want to think for yourself, and if you make a mistake, great, no problem. You pay the price for it, no problem.
That part right there, bro. I like that right there. Blue pill, red pill. If you want to stay in the matrix and be controlled, then you're all for CBDC. If you are for freedom, free thinker, free markets, willing to take risks, then maybe you want to be unplugged and you're not for CBDC. It's funny how he summed it up like that. But I mean, I get where he's coming from. I'm all for a true free market. So if a business does something stupid and they lose their business, fine. I don't believe in bailouts. I don't believe in government bailouts. You know, and going back to 2008, what happened with the bailouts and the whole thing with the housing industry and all that. If you're going to bail them out, people should have went to jail for that. They knew what they were doing. They were gambling. They didn't care. They got drunk on the money that they were making. They had no regulations, and they went out there and they got caught with their pants down, and the government bailed them out. They used your money to get them out of that situation, and no one went to jail for that. No one went to jail for that. It was some dude from credit suites overseas went to jail. It's like only one dude who went to jail over that whole debacle. That's not a free market. That's not capitalism. That's not freedom. All those banks should have went under. All of them. And then all these other banks would have come up in their place. But no. They're getting backed by the federal government. And this is what he's talking about. This is why the big banks are for this. All right, cool. This currency is going to be manipulated just like the current currency is. This fiat currency gets manipulated. The banks are like, we're still going to get backstop so we can go out here and gamble like, you know, crazy. And if we go too far, then they're going to just take government money and bail us out. This is why, y'all. This is why. Let's continue.
You're not for CBDC. This is what it's really coming down to. And by the way, many, many years ago, when everybody was talking about Bitcoin, I said my biggest fear about Bitcoin is Bitcoin scares the most powerful institution in the world, which is the US government. Governments don't like when they cannot control a currency. They can't control Bitcoin. They're going to do whatever they can to trash it, bash it. They'll talk about all the criminal activity that happens in Bitcoin to get people to eventually say, yes, this is not a good idea. It's better if the government controls it. And then you'll go over here, and then all of a sudden, 10 years later, you're like, this was a bad idea, but it's too late by now. Everybody's using their money through this whole CBDC that they're selling to you. And by the way, you know how they say things like, well, look, we're becoming a cashless society. How many places are you going to nowadays that they don't even accept cash? Yeah, but we've been using cards for a long time. And it's okay. Well, the fees are high. What if you can save 3%? I'm okay paying 3% fees in the money that I'm transferring, and it taking a day or two and no one knowing about my decision except me and that credit card company, then you, the government, knowing exactly what everybody else is doing. Again, freedom, you're not for CBDC. Control, you are for CBDC. But I want to hear your thoughts. If you got value from today's episode, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and comment below. And by the way, a part of why they're able to capitalize off this to sell the American people on CBDC being a good thing is because of what happened with Silicon Valley and the banking crisis. I did a private webinar on that a week ago. If you've never seen it, it's data intel we've never shared before. Our research team pulled up all this data. I highly recommend you're seeing it. Click here to watch the banking crisis webinar. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye, bye-bye.
That's my dude. I'm definitely going to go back and watch that webinar he's talking about. Again, full disclosure, I'm a big fan of Patrick Bet-David and Valuetainment. I am. You know what I mean? Every chance I get, I'm rocking with those guys. I can't wait to go to one of their live productions. I have friends who work within that organization. So that's full disclosure. But, I mean, you tell me if you think he's lying. This is a multimillionaire right here. He's like, yo, bro, I don't want people to know how I'm making these moves. He can make these moves free of the government and other folks getting in his business. and he ain't doing anything illegal. I mean, this is what we need to be thinking about, people. This is what we need to be thinking about. It's yeah, man. This is something we need to be. I just can't. I can't put it into words. I'm like, bro, y'all just don't understand what it is, man. This is serious stuff. This is serious stuff, man. So there you have it, man. That's pretty much what I could dig up on central bank digital currency. We're definitely gonna be talking about this more. Like I said, I don't I didn't know anything about it really. I knew very little. We read a couple articles, we looked at a couple videos. Hopefully I gave you guys some food for thought. You go out here and figure it out, figure out the rest on your own. Let me know what you guys discover. Please come back. We're here every day, Monday through Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, talking about something. You find out something on this, man, please come back and tell us, man. Share so we know. Brother D-Mac definitely was the sponsor of this stream. And thank you so much, bro. That's for you. Appreciate the donations, man. I really do. I appreciate everyone who's here, Brother Doug, on my day ones, Don 007. Everyone who's been rocking with me from the beginning. I appreciate you, brothers, man. I really do. Miss AKA Lady, Miss Globe Girl, even though they weren't here today, I appreciate y'all as well. Shout out to y'all. Sister Candace, everybody. We're growing. We're getting to the point where I can't keep everybody's name in my head. And I love it. Brother Jason was in here today, man. Brother Mandrell, Dusto, man. Thank y'all so much. I really appreciate it. These are the conversations I like having. I hope that there are people out here who may come across some of this stuff, bro, and think about it like, oh man, let me look into this. Even if it's just to tell me I'm wrong. I hope, please go find out some information, come back and tell me I'm wrong. But this is what we need to be talking about, man. I could be talking about red pill stuff. I could be talking about manosphere stuff. I could be talking about 304s and, the dating world is crazy. I talk about that sometimes. But I could be talking about that every single day and we would do stellar numbers. But I don't want to just talk about that one thing. This is important. I want to talk about that. You know what I mean? Brother D-Mac, what he said about banking with black banks. Why is it we don't bank with black banks? I'm guilty of that, man. I need to go out and do it. I need to go out and get me an account with a black bank. I challenge each and every one of y'all to do the same. Brother Mandrell told us, man, there are only 23 black-owned banks in America. 23. And the black dollar is, everybody wants the black dollar. No one consumes like the black community. But we're not even banking with black banks. We should do something about that, man. I challenge each and every one of y'all to do something about that. I really do. I'm gonna challenge myself, man. Give me a month. This time next month, I'll tell you what bank I decided to go with. I'm gonna get with the black bank. I'll put some money over there. I'm gonna do it. We should be doing it. Brother Doug, if I wasn't established in Virginia, I would move to Florida right now. Florida's cool, bro, but it's crazy down here. You know what I mean? It's crazy down here. I ain't gonna lie to you. I'm here until my daughter finishes school. Once my daughter's out of high school, I'm gone. I'll be in South America, bro. I'll come to America to make my money, but I'll be living out of the country. I'm not cool with where our country is going right now. Especially with this central bank digital coin currency, the government overreach, people getting further and further apart, politically. Something needs to change, bro. So I don't know, man. I think I'm gonna go somewhere else where my dollar goes further and I can live comfortable and be surrounded by a bunch of beautiful women and cool folks, right? That's what I'm doing. And y'all might want to start looking at some different countries to hit up. So thanks for that. Brother Doug said, excellent stream. I appreciate that. Brother Don 007. Fun fact, who is the biggest holder of Bitcoin? I don't know. Who is the biggest holder of Bitcoin? Probably the U.S. government. No, the biggest holder of Bitcoin. I want to say it's either Venezuela or Argentina. Let me know, bro. That's my guess. Venezuela or Argentina. Brother Doug, Don 007 is the guy that died and they can't find his key codes. Oh, is that the guy who died and they can't find his key code? We're about to find out. And brother Doug Deal, actually, I would do the same. I'm looking into Belize or Panama. Yeah, Panama is nice. I'm looking at Uruguay. I'm looking at Peru. I'm looking at Argentina. And yeah, those are a few that I'm looking at. I looked at a couple places out east, and I didn't like them. You know, like Thailand, Philippines, Vietnam, Laos, Cambodia. I was kind of looking out there. The dollar's really strong and all that, but I wasn't feeling it. I think I'm gonna wind up down in South America. So yeah, brother Don, who is the biggest holder of Bitcoin, bro? I can't end the stream until you tell us. Can't end the stream until you tell us, man. Who's the biggest holder, bro? He gonna have me sitting here for another 45 minutes. Now I gotta pull out my phone, see if I can find that information. But I really don't know. I thought it was a country that really got heavy into crypto. They got heavy into Bitcoin. I want to say about 5 or 6 years ago. It was either Venezuela or Argentina. I could be wrong. And they actually got into a lot of trouble. It was a good move at first. Oh, brother Don 007 says the USA. Wow, the U.S. government is the biggest holder of Bitcoin. Maybe they tried to buy it first and they realized they still can't control it. We need our own currency. That's what's up, bro. That's what's up. So that's it, man. We're done. This was fun. It was a great stream. I really appreciate all of y'all, man. I really do. Thanks for rocking out with me. We're still growing. Like I say, Monday through Fridays, every day, 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, right here. I really want to know, or Downrange Podcast. Tomorrow's probably going to be a downrange day. I want to talk about some political stuff that's just absolutely stupid right now. I just want to talk to some political stuff. So tomorrow's going to be a downrange podcast. I'll see y'all tomorrow, 6 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, right here. Again, thank y'all so much. Brother XFO is in the house. What's good, fam? Nice to see you. Always a pleasure. Y'all have a good night. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.
Darn, that's the end.